Welcome to the Lights, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Hi everyone, welcome back for another edition of Lights, Camera, Rant. And for this particular episode, we are going to be looking at, of course, Matt Reeves' The Batman. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, this actually took me a bit to process because I'm a big Batman fan, as anyone who listens to this podcast, as well as I got a Batman logo tattooed on my chest, not the black and yellow one. God, no. More like just the Batman symbol breaking off into small bats up my shoulder. Maybe someday I will post that on Instagram for you guys to have a look. I'm sure none of you care, but definitely hit me up if you like to. So, being the big Batman fan I am, this took a bit to process and to, stack it in that this is a great entry into the Batman mythos, or is this just a joke just like the Batman and Robin movie? Now, before we get into that, as anybody who listens to this podcast will know that we like to look at the news first before we get into our reviews. So, let's get into it. Now, if anyone who played the video game Pokemon, I'm going to butcher it, and I know Mark is going to be, from Mark My Words, is going to be listening to this and going, it's a thesis, it's a thesis, you idiot. Can't you pronounce it? The latest Pokemon game that came out earlier this month, Pokemon Cesis. I'm sorry, man, if you're listening. It's a strange title, just simple syllables. God damn. Definitely go check out, before I go any further, definitely go check out Mark's review of that game. I'm not a huge Pokemon gamer myself. I do like Pokemon, but not to the point to play a video game. I find that trying to, depending on the situation of the game, and I don't have a Nintendo Switch at all. Now, what got announced was a new Pokemon game, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Now, I've posted on my Instagram a couple of screenshots. We got a trailer. Looks gorgeous. Looks open world. A lot to do in it. But the curious thing I've seen about this is the fact that this is pretty much, if you played Pokemon game starting with A, if you play the game and if you felt like there was a whole bunch of missing, this is what you should be waiting for. From everything I've seen in the trailer, everything I've seen about the game is basically, if you feel like things were missing or there wasn't enough to do, these are the two games to check out, because they're basically everything that was good with Pokemon Cetus. My God, I'm butchering that. All into these two games, which looks really good. No particular release date. All we know is coming later this year, so definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. What also we got was that Indiana Jones 5 has now finished filming. That's all done and dusted, which, look, I would say after Indiana Jones 4, that would be the last time you would see Harrison Ford play Indiana Jones. But as I'm recording this, I'm just telling you right now, Indiana Jones 5 is finished filming, which is 14 years after Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which was a terrible entry into the Indiana Jones franchise, and to this day, there's only 3 Indiana Jones films. I don't care what anybody says, Indiana Jones Crystal Skull was shit. So I really hope Indiana Jones 5 is good. It's got Mads Mikkelsen in it, so fingers crossed. But that's coming out, strangely enough, filming's finished. This movie doesn't come out until June 2023 next year. So they've got a lot of time to do all the nice special effects and get that ready to go. But yes, that is all done. And I hope Harrison Ford is in good health and he's not going to injure himself any further. Another old film that's getting a sequel that apparently is in the works is Beetlejuice 2. So Beetlejuice 2 is currently in the works with both Michael Keaton and Winona Ryder set to return. Now this film, there's been a lot of basically similar thing. It's been in development hell with Beetlejuice 2 coming into fruition. But from this, sounds like there's a lot more traction going on. Now, the Beetlejuice 1 came out in 1988, if you don't actually feel old, which is a Tim Burton film. I like Beetlejuice. I think Michael Keaton did a fantastic job as the titular character. Tim Burton did a fantastic creating this world. Tim Burton would have to be, honestly, one of my favorite directors because he has his own style and he's really good at world building. Because, look at Beetlejuice, you look at the Batman, you look at Nightmare Before Christmas, you look at the Corpse Bride. Like, he has such a world building way with the way he directs. Batman Returns, two fantastic entries in the Batman mythos. To this day, I feel I really would have loved to have seen what the third Batman with Michael Keaton would have been, and not to mention the fact that what would have Tim Burton's Superman movie would have been with Nicolas Cage. Like, that, definitely go check that out. If you go, yes, whoever doesn't know what I'm saying is, at one stage, there was going to be Superman movie with Nicolas Cage playing Superman. Yep, I'm not joking you. But the most interesting thing about the entire movie is not the whole premise. It's just the fact that everything that was planned and going to be in it, and what crazy ideas from Tim Burton's brain was going to be into it. So definitely go check it out. Go on YouTube and type it in, and there is so much content on what that was meant to be. And it's a darn shame it never came light today, because it would have been very different, as you've seen with the Batman films. 1 and 2 and Batman Returns, which I watched recently a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, I totally forgot how dark this film is. This is really dark. Loved it. Absolutely love it. Still right up there as one of my top Batman films. And, I can't say no to Michelle Pfeiffer in that Catwoman outfit. Just can't say no to that. But yes, Beetlejuice 2 is currently in the works. And, what I find really funny is the fact that if you look at Beetlejuice, because of the fact of how long the gap is, Michael Keaton's also returning as Batman. So it's almost like he's getting a small resurgence in his career of all these old characters he's played nearly 30 years ago. And he must be all good if he wants to go play them and keep coming back. Which the funny thing is, if I was a fan back in the day, if I was alive, because I'm obviously not that old, if I was alive when the Batman movie came out, because Batman came out in 1989, Beetlejuice came out in 1988, and if I got to be honest with you, if I was sitting there and someone told me that, see that guy that's playing Beetlejuice, yeah, he's going to be playing Batman. They're doing a live action Batman movie, and this same director and person are going to make a Batman movie. Knowing the fact that we've only seen Adam West's Batman, I'd be like, yeah, that's going to bomb. That's going to be really weird, and that is going to bomb 100%. I would 100% agree to that. Because actually, a little trivia fact, definitely to keep in mind, is that a lot of people, didn't want Michael Keaton to play Batman, and Warner Bros. Was flooded with hate mail about him playing the Batman. Yes, back in the day, yes, used to write in letters to complain if you didn't like someone playing a particular character and an actor or anything such like that. And looking back on it, I know I'm going kind of a tangent off Beetlejuice, but looking into every Batman film we got from then, the first Batman movie is still, it's a standard bearer of a film. It's not like they got better from that. This is the stand bearer, this is what you go work. You're either higher or you're lower. Which some people I completely understand. Michael Keaton isn't their Batman. Every generation, every person has their own Batman. And with Michael Keaton, to me, he's, as a kid growing up, he is my Batman. As an adult, Christian Bale is my Batman. Not Val Kilmer, not George Clooney. Nope. Because I enjoyed the Dark Material, which is, the rest is history on why I've got this Batman tattoo. But yes, sorry. Let's go back to Beetlejuice. But yes, so You're going to get Beetlejuice 2. I'm very curious to see how this is going to take it. And, Michael Keaton's still pretty fit, especially if he's going Batman, twice over, which we do know for both The Flash and Batgirl, which, he's pretty stride, put the makeup on, you probably can't tell his age, mate. You really couldn't tell his age when you watch Beetlejuice. And I can't say it any more than 3 times, just in case. So, moving on. Now, this part, my heart melted when I saw this, and I texted both Dean and Mark about this, and I was like, we're going back. Now, yes, the Star Wars Galaxy Edge Hotel is up and running, which looks fantastic. Ticket prices are very high, but my God, if I had the money, I would go, because it looks fantastic. But it's not that. I thought it was really good. So, what they've done is they've made a plaque honouring Stan Lee of 100 years. Yep, at the Avengers campus, they've made a whole plaque and area for Stan Lee honouring 100 years. And I texted the boys and I was like, we've got to go. We've got to go back to America, and we've got to go to the Avengers campus, hit, obviously, Avengers campus, hit Disney's Star Wars Galaxy Edge, and get a photo with this plaque. The man did so much, and it's still very sad with his passing, and everything that's come out after his passing. Like, he would have loved Spider-Man No Way Home. He would have been, like, over the moon so much, and he'd be like, I'm going to be in that movie one way or another. And, I guess at least he got to see Endgame at the end of the day, and, I still, to this day, I still think that I remember seeing a meme in Avengers Endgame, and it was like someone saying, if you told me that from 12 years later after the first Iron Man, I would see a Iron Spider-Man with an Infinity Gauntlet in his hand, webbed up to Thor's hammer, flying over a battlefield with multiple different characters, I would say, you're full of shit, leave me alone. And I think myself the same thing. I was like, turn the clocks back to 2008. If anyone told me what was going to come, I'd be like, I wouldn't believe you. We'd be like, nah, that's not going to happen. They're not going to go that far. That's insane. That's never been done before. Well, I would have been wrong. But yes, done a wonderful plaque for Stan Lee, which is fantastic. And anytime this man is honoured is absolutely precious. Moving on, so speaking with the Marvel realm, Chris Hemsworth has apparently been cast in the new prequel movie to Mad Max called Furiosa, which Charlize Theron's character played in the Mad Max with Tom Hardy. It's going to be a prequel movie set for 2024, and Chris Hemsworth's playing a bad guy. I'm really interested to see how he will be a bad guy in the Mad Max world, because, as we all know, the latest Mad Max film has been regarded as like the action movie of the decade because of how good it is. And I'm interested to see how Chris Hemsworth is going to play as a villain, especially like a cold, hard villain. It would be very interesting to see how he would do that take. Because obviously the next couple of movies we're seeing him is Thor 4, and he's also playing the biopic as Hulk Hogan. What you gonna do, brother, when Thor... Yeah, and I'm gonna butcher that terribly. But, yeah. So, yeah, Chris Hemsworth is going to be playing, and that's going to be very interesting to see how he's going to do that. Moving on. So, March 16th, we're getting all the Marvel Netflix shows going to Disney+. Now, the curious thing is that I already mentioned that. However, what I didn't think of at the time was that the parental guidance controls for Disney Plus are changing, obviously to accommodate the new films, the new Netflix shows are coming, which would be interesting because the fact that if they've done that, then that could also mean that we would be getting more mature content coming to Disney Plus, which would be fantastic because obviously we have Star, and obviously you can put the rating for R-rated, or if you don't want R-rated, anything like that, because obviously all the Fox films. But I saw someone's posted we could get an Old Man Logan TV show, we could get another Punisher series. It's endless on what they could pump out with the streaming platform. So definitely keep an eye on that, as in what this could entail moving forward for Disney Plus. So watch out, guys. But yeah, March 16th. Even though you can already watch them on Netflix, If you haven't already, they're all moving to Disney Plus, so get ready to go. In fantastic news, John DiMaggio the guy who plays Bender and Finn. Oh my god, Adventure Time with Jake. Sorry, Jake. He's announced on Twitter that he's officially returning for the Futurama reboot on Hulu, which is fantastic news because, as we know, a couple of weeks ago, Hulu announced they were making a reboot. Oh, it's not really a reboot. They're making another couple of seasons. And the fact that he wasn't going to be returning, and he publicly said the fact that it's not fair, that we want to pay, we should pay what we're due, which is correct, which is 100% agree. Like, as I said back then, it's like, Hulu should be throwing money at these characters to come back. It shouldn't be whether, we really don't want to pay them, but we still want to make the show. I'm like, no, fans can smell a boycott from miles away. So if you didn't have Bender, which almost is one of the titular 3 main characters come back, then it would have been shit. Like, it would have been alright, but it wouldn't have been the same because you'd know that's not Bender, and he would have sound different. Or worst, killed him off, which would have just blown everything out of the water completely. But yes, Jamila is back. He's going to be playing Bender, and as his Twitter says, I'm back, baby, which I can't wait to see what that's going to come out as. Moving on. So, the Halo TV show. Now, I have faith it's going to be good, but I am nervous. Obviously, as I said, going from a video game, getting away from the video game curse, and obviously the show going to TV. But this is interesting. I thought it was really good. There's one of the producers for the show mentioned the fact that Steven Spielberg is a producer for the Halo TV show, but he reassured the fact that not only has Steven Spielberg been a producer, he's actually had his hands in all the directing, the writing, the casting, the production. He's had his hands in everything, and he's sort of been treating it like a legacy project. So he's been heavily involved through the entire process, which, if you are listening and if you were a little bit nervous, I'm taking that as a kind of more faith that it will be good, because obviously Steven Spielberg is one of the greatest directors of all time. The man, nearly most of everything he touches, gold. Box office gold. Box office gold. So I really do hope the fact that with this news coming out, the fact that it may bring more faith into the TV show, but we won't really see until it comes out. Not to mention, I'll have to double check if it's going to be episodic or if it's going to come all at once, because I'm not too sure about Paramount Plus. So I will look into that for you guys. But yes, so Steven Spielberg has had his hand in each part of the pie. Now, look, you guys don't know how much I feel about the Fast and the Furious franchise. Been done to death and is really ready to be put into the ground. So Fast 10, which should be, for anyone who does like Aquaman, Jason Momoa is joining the franchise. He will be playing the villain in Fast 10 that's meant to come out next year in 2023. Look, Jason Momoa is fantastic. Every time I hear somebody go, he was really good at Game of Thrones. He was, that's the first time I saw him. I'm like, shut up. The first time he saw him, and the first time he's claimed fame was Stargate Atlantis, which he did fantastic in that. And then you'll have someone behind me going, well, actually, he was in Baywatch, and that's what really launched his career, not blah, 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 blah. But yeah, look, Jason Momoa does fantastic work. He was great in Stargate Atlantis when he joined. He did it very well. And not to mention, he's great as Aquaman, and majority of the stuff I have seen, he's fantastic. So, look, I think he will add a good element, or a villain element, to Fast 10. Because you gotta remember the fact that Fast 10 is still not the last one. They are making Fast 11. Oh my god, my brain hurts because the fact there's like 11. There's 11 films. There's 11 films. These damn Fast and Furious is just crap. I stand by the argument the fact it should have ended by Fast 7, which, funny enough, I recently had one of my colleagues from tennis come on called Max, and we looked at the top 20 highest grossing movies of all time, and Fast 7 is up there, and the rest of the Fast and Furious movies don't catch up to it. So they should have ended at Fast 7, but gotta make that almighty dollar, don't you, Vin Diesel? But yes, Jason Momoa, get pumped for Fast 10. So speaking of sequels, apparently also Free Guy 2, the script is currently in works, which was, I can't wait for Free Guy 2. Free Guy 1 was really good. I also got a review, so definitely go check that out. Ryan Reynolds did fantastic. So I'm all up for Free Guy 2 because anything Ryan Reynolds does is really good, and I did really like the concept of it and where it can go from there and how they're going to handle it. But yes, here, Free Guy fans, Free Guy 2 script is currently in the works, and hopefully we will see that soon. Next, don't forget to go pick up Gran Turismo 7. That's currently out right now. My old man picked it up straight away because Gran Turismo is like his only game that he really likes. Literally, he would only buy a PlayStation 5 just for Gran Turismo. So definitely go pick that up. I've seen trailers of it, and the thing just looks gorgeous. It is purely a racing simulator, and it looks fan-bloody-tastic. Visualize, and I can't wait to play it myself. So definitely look out and keep your eyes for that, and go pick it up for any racing fans. Also, speaking about video games, it is March the 15th. Your Grand Theft Auto 5 Next Gen update is going to be coming out. So I'm very curious to see how that's going to be, how much is going to change, obviously, going from the PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5. But keep your eyes on that March 15th Grand Theft Auto 5 Next Gen update. Now, this was interesting. Personally, I wouldn't do this if you've watched The Boys. So, the actor who plays Homelander in The Boys has been arrested for assaulting a chef. Yep, that is correct. He's been arrested for assaulting a chef. And this is what I mean in the part is, like, I would not personally, would not arrest Homelander. If I was a cop, I'd be shitting myself. I'm like, I have seen what you do. God damn. But, unfortunately, saying that, this is another type of publicity you would want before The Boys Season 3 is meant to come out. The fact that he's been arrested. So, I just hope that it gets resolved and peacefully, and it's all done properly, and it's just a small blemish on this man's career, because he's done fantastic as Homelander, honestly. So I do hope that doesn't tarnish anything with him still playing the character if they do announce a season 4, which I really do, because The Boys is bloody fantastic. And the reason I said bloody is because if you've seen the show, you know exactly what I mean. But yeah, he's been arrested. I was so surprised when I saw that. I was like, really? Really? I thought, God help the cop that arrested him. But yeah, guys, that's all the news I have for you right now. So let's get into the part on why you're here. So, The Batman, directed by Matt Reeves, starring Robert Pattinson. Now, like as I said at the very beginning of this episode, I watched it and over the weekend, and I had to process it, everything I saw, everything I did. Now, I was going into this having low expectations, and as you can tell in previous episodes of this podcast, I was not excited for it. I anticipated it was going to be a bomb, and I was annoyed because of the fact it wasn't. What we were meant to see was we were meant to get a Ben Affleck solo movie with him versing Deathstroke. That was what we were meant to get, but no, we got this. And I will publicly say the fact that, I said that I wasn't interested in it. Don't know why they're rebooting it too soon. Being 3 Batmans in the same year, Don't know why they're doing it. It's just, it boggles me. Now, this is the part where you're not going to hear me say very often, but I was wrong. I was not terribly, but I was wrong. I will eat my words. 110%. The son of a bitch did it. Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson, they pulled it off. Look, this film defied my expectations going into this. And now I'm going to tell you, this is not a superhero movie. This is not a hero movie. So completely get that out of your mind when you think, Batman and, he's a superhero, DC stuff like that. Get out of your mind. Completely take that away. Do not go into this thinking this is a superhero film. There is no super in it at all. This is a dark, gritty, noir, detective thriller film. Those are what I put this under. This is not a superhero film at all. This is dark. This is gritty. This is really down to earth. Now, this to sum up the kind of thing that you want to be thinking of, like, this is in the same vein as like Zodiac or Seven, as a thriller movie of the detective trying to chase down the serial killer, but the serial killer is one step in front of him each time. That's the type of movie this is. This is a detective thriller movie. I'm not putting it in the same vein as a superhero film at all. Yes, this movie does have big action sequences, superhero slightly moments, but it's not in the same vein at all. What Matt Reeves has created here and Robert Pattinson is a Batman film that draws upon on the lot of the title of him being the world's greatest detective, and pulls upon the fact that it's Batman Year 2. So he's a bit rough around the edges. He's making mistakes. He's getting beat up. He's not pulling his punches as much. He's always going that little bit too far at different moments. And so it's definitely dark and gritty kind of thing. And if you're a Batman Arkham game fan, there is a lot taken from those games across all three into this movie. I am not joking. There's a lot of elements from those games that have been brought into this movie. Basically, the particular is the fact that the Riddler is killing people, and it's doing it in his Riddler sense, obviously, leaving the card, leaving the question mark, and the fact that Batman's going to chase it down to find out why he's killing these people, who's next, who's getting involved, and why, and going down that rabbit hole. And it is a fantastic journey. Honestly, it's a great journey watching from start to finish. It does go for 3 hours. To me, I did feel the 3 hours. I didn't feel the 3 hours with No Way Home or Avengers Endgame, but I did feel the 3 hours with this movie. But it is worth it in the entire scheme of things. And the cinematography in this movie, what Matt Reeves has done, is fantastic. Some of the shots, you watch it and you feel like that's straight from a comic book, or that's peeled straight off the pages. 110%. The Riddler feels like something from Saw. It's that type of killer. It's like, I want to play a game. He's that intense. Similar to the Riddler in the Arkham games as well. Is even trapping people with, yes, this is going to have spoilers. Trapping people in explosive collars around their neck. He's leaving clues. He's doing ciphers like the Zodiac. This is completely taken away from the Jim Carrey version. This is more Arkham style and Saw 7 and Zodiac type of moments. And there's a wonderful opening scene when the movie starts, is the fact that, which I think is done very well. So you got to remember that Batman lurks in the shadows. He strikes fear into the streets of Gotham every time you see his light, his symbol shine into the sky. And how this opening scene comes out is the fact that we see different parts of the sea of gangs, violence going on, graffiti. But every time, each 3 times, they're looking into the shadows because they look at the symbol, but they don't know if Batman's lurking around. So this is Batman Year 2, essentially. So Batman's already been doing his work over a year, so everyone basically does know who Batman is, but he's still kind of a myth. They don't know if don't know if he's real, don't know when he will appear, but you do get the feeling of dread from these, these thugs every time they look in the dark, and you feel the myth. You feel like he's a ghost. You feel the fear of them doing it. Looking into that, and in the opening scene, you see the fact that he does appear. He does walk very slow to these gang people, and look, I criticized the Batman theme because I was like, this doesn't make any. This is not a Batman theme. This isn't as good as Batman, 1989 or the Batman series or the Dark Knight. Makes a lot more sense. It is suspense, basically music. That when you see Batman, the suspense builds up of him appearing and he's going to do something. He's going to smash somebody in. And the opening scene, you do get this scene where he's like, I'm vengeance. And it's a great scene. And the different fighting styles you do see him do, but you can tell the fact that he is rougher. He is not pulling his punches. He's not clean cut. He's almost going that little bit too far when he gets beaten up, and he is getting struck. He's getting hit, in these fight scenes. This movie does, when you do see the opening scene, I thought that was fantastic. The Batmobile is intense. It's brutal, and it's, it doesn't obviously have the typical shape like the Batman cars. Obviously, it does have that Batman style, but this Batmobile is threatening like a beast. You see this thing on the road, it's rumbling, it's roaring, it's coming at you, and you feel the fear in a car chase scene with the Penguin, which you did see in the trailer where the car comes through the fire and anything. You feel the fear in Penguin when he's driving, because you just can't believe the fact he keeps coming back each time. And that whole scene looks fantastic in cinema, seeing the Batman walk through the fire behind him. That is fantastic. And the performances are everyone pulled their way on this. They did fantastic. Both Robert, Zoe, Colin, Paul, Jeffrey, Andy Serkis all did fantastically. Even the relationship between Batman and Commissioner Gordon, you can feel the fact it's still fresh and new. He doesn't fully trust him, and Batman doesn't fully trust him as well. But there is that trust there, but you can still see it's not that cemented trust that we have seen in the past. It's still rough. It's still got to grow, and that does. Jeffrey did fantastic. Andy Serkis did fantastic as Alfred. You feel the weight behind that, because the thing is with Alfred is that he is basically his emotional anchor for Batman. He brings him back to reality and makes sure the fact that he's like a constant reminder, the fact that you cannot consume yourself in being the Batman 24/7. You have to come back in the light and be Bruce Wayne, which in this movie as well is that you fully feel the fact that Bruce Wayne is the mask. That Batman isn't the mask, Bruce Wayne is. You completely feel it. He feels uncomfortable in his skin, similar to what Michael Keaton did with obviously the Batman, feeling he's nervous, he doesn't want to talk much, he's awkward. And you get this fully depressed Batman. Yes, he looked like he was going to listen to My Chemical Romance, but you can understand why. And the fact that you see this rich underbelly of Gotham. You get the Iceberg Lounge, which I was surprised, like, hey, not the one I remember from Arkham Knight or Arkham City, but still pretty good. But Colin Farrell did fantastic as Penguin, and the fact that he's not in enough scenes, but he's getting his own spin-off show. There's also going to be a spin-off show from this movie with about Arkham Asylum coming on HBO Max, and this movie is meant to start a new trilogy of Batman films. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, straight up, I want it. I want another. I can't believe I'm saying this out of my words. I want another Batman movie with Robert Pattinson playing the Batman. He did fantastic. His performance as the Cape Crusade was really good, and the Batsuit is really good as well. You feel the full gadgets and everything coming around it, and how the functionality of the suit, going around, it's fantastic. How he glides, very windsurfer. I think it's windsurfer guys. Like the guys from Transformers 3 when they jumped out of the airplane and flew through the city. Similar to that, and I think Tom Cruise might have done a Mission Impossible movie. But my hat's off to Matt Reeves. This is a fantastic Batman movie. If they don't make another one, it does a great job. It's intense. It's thrilling. You don't kind of know what's going to happen next. You feel the fact yourself. You're trying to figure out all the clues as well. What does this all lead to? There's actually some comedy in the movie as well, which is well earned every time it comes up. That is fantastic. And the relation, obviously, most of the comedy is between Batman and Jim Gordon. And Zoe, I can't say her last name. She did a fantastic job as Catwoman. She did a really, really good job as the Tillicher character. Everyone pulled in the Batman movie. That's why I was struggling to process with it, because I'm like, that was really freaking good. That was really good. I really like that. And the music 100% fits it. The theme makes more sense. Definitely watch the Batman movie because of the theme, but it definitely makes more sense now when you watch it, what it leads up to. And some of the music playing in the background during the fighting scenes was fantastic. And Gotham feels rich. It's raining nearly every single night, so it feels a lot of it. I think the first thing I felt was this feels like Arkham Knight. When he's gone around the city streets, the neon lights, the TVs and everything, it feels like Arkham Knight. It's always raining. It's intense. Not to mention the Batcave it's not underground underneath his house. It's part of an old train station, or so he's made into the Batcave. And the fact it makes more sense now the different thing is the fact that he doesn't have the blue or white eyes that you see. He actually wears contact lenses and records the entire night. Then when he comes back, he takes the contact lenses off, records the footage, and looks back at the footage and does a face recognition of the whole thing, and he actually jots down everything that happened. So he's got journals he's jotting down, because you do hear the inner monologue he does have when he's talking about the city to bring you up to speed. So, look, I was wrong. I want another one, and this movie goes really dark. And to me, I'm happy for more of a dark Batman. I don't want a lighter Batman. I want darker. That's why I do like the Batman. That's why I do like the Michael Keatons. And So this is the $1 million question. Now, this is the $1 million question that obviously a lot of people have been asking. Is it better than The Dark Knight? Is this film better than Dark Knight at all? Look, the thing with The Dark Knight is that The Dark Knight will always hold a special place, that little bit above all the Batman movies, that no Batman movie will surpass. I'm saying that right now. No, but it doesn't matter if you made a fully 10 out of 10, 5-star Batman movie, The Dark Knight will always be that little bit inch higher. Because the fact that, yes, that movie's called The Dark Knight, but you're not going to watch that for The Dark Knight. You're going to watch that for the outstanding performance that Heath Ledger brought to the table and did throughout that movie. Yes, Heath Ledger, Christopher Nolan, Christian Bale, they all brought it into this world to bring The Dark Knight, that coming through. And that's why, and Heath Ledger, fortunately for his passing, it's something, something when you watch it, it's just, every time he's on scene, you want to know when he's back on scene, because his performance is captivating and keeps you intrigued. You go watch that, not for The Dark Knight, you go watch that for the Joker. And I put The Dark Knight still higher than this Batman film. Because the fact that the performance of Heath Ledger is fantastic throughout that movie, and when you watch it, it's just start to finish, it's fantastic to watch The Dark Knight. And I recommend anyone to watch it. You don't have to watch Batman Begins, you don't have to watch The Dark Knight Rises, but just The Dark Knight, it's just fantastic. And I put, right after The Dark Knight, I put this Batman movie as second. It is second straight to that. This is dark, this is gritty, this is intense, this is a thriller, this is detective. This is the type of Batman movie you want if you're a true fan. This just might diverse the fan base between 50-50 going, oh, it's too dark. It's not as good as The Dark Knight. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not complaining it's good. I think it's a fantastic film. It is great. And I'm putting it as a second, high second. It is second to the every Batman movie that's come out. This is fantastic. I put this higher than the Batman film with Michael Keaton. That goes third. Then probably Batman Begins. Then probably Dark Knight. Batman Returns. Then The Dark Knight Rises. Look, I'm not saying the fact that someone needs to die in this film, like an actor, for it to surpass The Dark Knight. What I'm saying is The Dark Knight is a different animal. You have to treat it like that, and it'll be very hard for any Batman film to ever fully surpass that. They have to go a different route to do it and have different elements, which this Batman movie has done. So if you're looking for that thriller, if you're looking for that detective, if you like the Arkham games, I highly recommend watching this than over The Dark Knight. If you're a really true Batman fan, you want to see something in this, I recommend watching this. And that is my solid review on this movie. And I will gladly fight anyone for it. And I will admit, the son of a bitch Robert Pattinson pulled it off. I want to see it again. I didn't even think of Twilight the whole time I watched the movie. His performance, he did fantastic. I did see a clip of, it was like a behind the scenes clip of him in a fight scene, and he was talking with his normal English accent. I'm like, oh, that sounds weird. Nope, don't like that. Nope. But no, he really brought it, and you felt it through the entire movie, and you know that there was a mission in that. The fact he wanted to prove everybody wrong, and I tip my hat off to both him and Matt Reeves. Both of you flippin' did it. Fantastic. And look, I'm ready for a trilogy. I'm ready for the spin-off movies. Bring it on. But saying that, I'm still going to wait for the rest of the year, because obviously we're going to still getting 2 more Batman this year later on. So guys, tell me, did you guys enjoy the Batman? Do you think it's better than The Dark Knight? Do you think no, this surpasses it? Don't even think about that. This is a lot better. You're an idiot, Lee. Just tell me. So guys, thank you very much for joining me this episode. I always appreciate you coming back. So definitely give us a like, a share, all the fun stuff. And comment on the socials. Let me know. Did you like it, or you thought, nah, it's too dark, let's pull back to go Batman and Robin, which, look, let's not pull back to Batman and Robin. Also, I forgot to mention before we actually sign off, There's also a lovely Arkham teaser at the end who might be in the cell speaking to the Riddler. Did you guess who that was? Let me know in the comments. So guys, until next time, happy ranting!
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.